There was an article in the TC Palm this morning I didn't have time to read, but it seems two newly elected city commissioners and a sitting commissioner will be looking at the rental agreement with this Brightline. Quote, "I don't believe the taxpayers are benefiting from this," end quote. "What you permit, you promote. What you allow, you encourage. What you condone, you own." Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning. I'm speaking this morning in opposition to the Brightline. Essentially, Brightline is asking Martin County to invest over $30 million in Brightline's future. And I wonder if that's a prudent investment. Back in October of last year, Brightline was tagged with a $1.15 million judgment in favor of Virgin. The first quarter of this year, Brightline reduced its passenger projections by 21%. In the first quarter of this year, Brightline lost over $116 million. In May, Fitch assigned a B credit rating to Brightline. Other credit reporting agencies assigned similar ratings, with a statement being made that Brightline has a stable outlook, but it is subject to adverse business and economic conditions. So that means watch out for a recession or similar catastrophe, because Brightline probably couldn't go through. Back in just recently, July of this year, Brightline was forced to refinance. I don't know the details about that. They haven't been very well publicized. And I think that what we're looking at here for Brightline is Brightline has a win-win situation. If they are successful, they make money. If they're not successful, the Martin County taxpayers are out. It's sort of heads I win, tails you lose.
Sir, your time is
I
up.
think the question
Sir.
the commissioners have to ask themselves.
My comments this morning are directed at the postponed agenda items concerning the Brightline Station and amending the 2018 settlement agreement, and I'm following a tough act. First, I urge that you reject any amendments to the original 2018 settlement agreement that relieves Brightline of any financial commitments they made under it. These include their share of the costs of building the station, the costs for the pedestrian aerial bridge over the tracks, and costs for all safety fencing that they agree to pay under the hazard analysis. Second, residents of Martin County owe Mrs. Casey Ingram Mullen a debt of gratitude for her painstaking analysis and research that exposed all of the hidden aspects of this agreement. This is far more than a transit stop on a mass transport system. The location of this station in a mixed-use area reads like a template prepared by the Director of Sustainable Development of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Their model communities are heavily subsidized by grants from HUD and the U.S. Department of Transportation. 3 parcels of land totaling 2.5 acres far exceed parking requirements. Being in a mixed-use area, they would be ideal targets for development heavily subsidized by HUD affordable housing grants with long strings attached. This has all the features of the HUD-driven 750 plan that our county commission wisely voted to withdraw from in 2013. You may recall its heavy evidence on embedding affordable housing projects, but the decisive influence on the commission in its decision to withdraw is that these superficially attractive federal grants have strings attached that can gut local zoning powers and financially obligate the taxpayers. I urge you to start a new era of financial vigilance by the county. demand that all federal grants, and especially all private-public sector partnership agreements, be fully examined before the public. These would include key elements like the provisions for management and oversight controls. Any items like the hazard analysis for this station should also be fully examined, as they were never made public. Thank you very much for your time.
I also have a concern about the Brightline. I hope that next meeting it's squashed, like everything else, like everyone else in the building. So, okay, that's it. Quick, easy.
I've got a company called At the Helm Training. We're a boating safety company. I came here originally for the, I'm going to call it Not So Brightline Station, which saddles taxpayers with a lot of money. And I brought my tax bill because it kind of, lets me understand that we all need to work on financial responsibility. And that financial responsibility goes from everything from the kind of trees you plant in the middle of the medians that require maintenance, to parking, to creating these train stations, because Brightline's not brought one dime to the state of Florida. The marine industry, on the other hand, has brought $35.5 billion in, and we're hampered by Brightline. I watch these trains go by every day, and they are empty. I mean, if there's more than 10%, I'll buy a train full of tickets for one of you. I absolutely booked one of those round trip to go and see Orlando for the day. It was $550. One of my friends goes to Miami on a regular basis, and he goes, "Oh, I'll go to Miami, you go in your car." I said, "Okay, we'll both leave. I live in Rocky Point. You live in Port St. Lucie, and we'll both go and we'll meet in Vizcaya in Miami. And we'll do it on the same amount of money. You get your Uber, you pay for your parking." I said, "I'll meet you there, and oh, by the way, I'll bring 3 other people in the car with me, and I'll be waiting for you." The bottom line is that was built to haul freight, which we're all good with. But a station in Martin and Stuart, especially downtown Stuart, we've got enough traffic congestions, and that's going to come back on the taxpayers, every bit of that, because there's never been a train station ever made it down here. It made a profit, any train company for pasture. I would just like for the commission to really start looking at being financially responsible and spending our money wisely instead of running deficits, so my bill doesn't go up every single year and I sit there and watch the money getting wasted. I run a company, it's a for-profit, not a non-profit, but my competition is non-profit. So grants and all this federal funding, we all pay for sooner or later. And until we start running our government like a business, which is financially responsible, we're going to be keeping every single time getting higher tax bills, people coming up complaining about it. And we're seeing a change in commission. We're seeing a change in attitude from the citizens about our government. And I hope all of you guys will just kind of pay attention and work with us to save money and not spend money. Thank you.
Mike Circus, Palm City. I just wanted to voice my frustrations with what's going on with Brightline. This is now the second meeting in a row that we've kicked the can down the field. And I fully understand and appreciate, Harold's not here to receive the presentation this morning. And I understand there were some monumental changes last night in the city of Stuart. So obviously your presentation item today would have been very different. So I'm just here to say that I sincerely hope that at your next meeting, we're not kicking the can down the field again. It's very clear all the chips are on the table. Brightline sent their message to everybody in March telling you guys that they want to renege on their 2018 agreement. We got the numbers in April talking about how much it's going to cost to finance the station. Brightline's telling us we're taking away the parking spots in Stuart. Now we're having a headache regarding Dixie Highway throughout the Triangle District. I mean, we've talked about it so many times. Fiscal stability, we've talked about water quality, we've talked about the people, the place, the project. Brightline's made it very clear they don't give a damn about the people of Martin County. I mean, I hate to say that. And they have hundreds of communities their train goes through, so I get it. We're not going to be the top of their priority list. I respect that. But the fact that now we're being told we need to pay for more than 50% of the station, if they can't even keep up their end of the agreement going back to a lawsuit settlement from 5 years ago, 6 years ago, why would we even entertain the idea of building a station for them? This is out of hand at this point. You guys have the ability to take the leadership role. You don't have to wait for the city of Stuart to stay their part. You don't need Brightline to wag the tail. You guys can simply stand up and say, here's the agreement, take it or leave it. If you don't like it, Fort Pierce, enjoy your station. You guys have that position. Just got to do it.
Thank you.
Again, it's about Brightline. Martin County is Brightline's ATM machine?
Pull your mic
Why
down
is-
a little bit.
Pardon me?
Pull your mic down.
People can hear.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, Martin County is Brightline's ATM machine. Why is Martin County dishing out, and I say this, $80 million to support a privately owned for-profit business? I say $80 million because down the road, the commissioners will be needing that parking garage and fencing for safety, and other projects will arise. For $80 million, do we get discounted tickets, free train fare? We get increased taxes. How many more commissioners do we have to vote out of office before this insanity stops? Thank you.
I'm just here to kind of voice my opinion about the Brightline station. I'm not for it. I've had good experiences where I've, been on a nice, clean, bright train, and it was fun, but I've also had bad experiences where their shuttle for the train never came, and my family, 10-month-old and 3-year-old, were stuck in the Miami airport overnight after a 10-hour flight. So they didn't show up for us, but you all can. And I think that it would actually be better in Fort Pierce. I have a little bit of insight into how things are going up there, like the energy of that community and the leaders there, that they really want to revitalize Fort Pierce, and I think that it would do really well up there. I think that it kind of fits right into what they want to do.
Good morning, everyone. I am not for Brightline. I was raised in Broward County, moved to Port St. Lucie and Martin County in 2005. And what my thinking is they have not followed through on what they said. Right, okay? So people need to be, if this is a company that is all about themselves, like someone said, they don't care about us. I think Fort Pierce would be a better place. Fort Pierce needs more revitalization. We don't. I think I even read where to buy a ticket now, it went up like 850% or something. Like the ticket's like a round trip ticket. And for people who want to commute from, say, Miami to Fort Lauderdale, now they're having to drive because the prices have gone up, because we have no control over what a private company will do. And they're not allowing the grants anymore. What happened there? Now all of a sudden we, City of Stuart and Martin County, has to pay. I just think, look at how busy we are here downtown. I know your wife has been my chiropractor after a car accident, and I know even finding a parking spot here took me 10 minutes. So I just think Fort Pierce would be better. I think they're trying to revitalize. I think here we have so much already going on. And I just think, if you think about it, you're bringing people from Miami. I'm not trying to downgrade the area by any means, because I was raised in Fort Lauderdale, but have you driven down there? It's just so much more traffic. And do we want to bring that to our nice, small, our town here? You go to Palm Beach County. I went to Palm Beach Atlantic University, graduated in '92. When I go down there, I don't even know where to go, because they have 20, 30-story high-rises. Do we want to make Martin County Boca Raton, Palm Beach County? No. We don't want all the traffic. That's all I have to say. I'm not for Brightline, and if you all would consider letting it go to Fort Pierce. Thank you very much.